Hey guys, today is November 11th, which means we officially have about a month and a half left of 2025, which is just mind boggling to me how quickly the time has passed us by, or passed me by at least. I just can't even believe we're already 2 months left of the year. So that just means that it was time for me to create my end of year TBR, or my 10 before the end. Basically just my priority TBR, or the books that I 100% want to read before this year comes to a close. It was a little bit difficult to select these books because there's so many books that I wanted to read throughout the year that for whatever reason I may not have gotten to, or I was just in a reading slump and I just did not do as much reading as I liked this year. And I wanted to make sure I didn't cram a bunch of books into my TBR for the remaining 2 months and give myself a goal that I could not achieve. But here are the 10 books, some being on my iPad, that I would like to read before 2026. So the first book I have here on my list is Legendborn by Tracy Deonn. I bought it several months ago and I never picked it up, but I know it follows, I believe, a 16-year-old girl or a young teenage girl going through life in this new magical world that she has recently discovered after the passing of her mother. And along the way, or throughout her journey in this magical world and magical school system, I believe, she has grown to realize that her mom might not have passed away the way she thought she did. And correct me if I'm wrong, I think there is a brewing romance in this as well. So I do love a good magical school type or discovered magical universe type book. So I'm excited to see what's in here. And the only reason why I haven't read it yet is pure forgetfulness. I just bought it, I put it on my shelf. This is why I don't like to purchase books that I'm not going to read right then and there, because things like this happen where I'll buy it, I'll sit it on my shelf, and it'll just sit there until I force myself to pick it back up. I have to instantly read it in order to actually read the book. But anyways, the next book on my list, I don't have the physical copy, but I will put it right here. It's If It Makes You Happy by Julie Olivia. This is just because it's November. I've seen that it's a cutesy fall romance. I've heard people say that it gives Gilmore Girls, which I have never watched the TV show, but just based off of the little trailer clips I see on Netflix when I'm scrolling by in the front picture, I can feel the cozy vibes just spewing from the TV every time I scroll by it. I just haven't watched it because I'm the kind of person who rewatches TV shows and I just stick with my favorite ones, but that does not matter. It follows a girl who moves to a small town and falls in love with the single dad who lives next door. I just love that already. I love a good romance, cutesy, cozy romance that I can circle back to all the time. I have it here on my phone that can be read, but I would also maybe love to own the physical copy because the book cover is just beautiful. Like, why wouldn't I want that on my shelf? I need to go buy this book. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Okay, I'm losing daylight, so I'm going to try to move quickly. The next book on my list, I also don't have the physical copy. It is Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. Now, this book does not have the most raving reviews out of all the Emily Henry books. I've seen very much mixed reviews on this, but I feel like based off of the description of this book, based off of the summary, I will like this book. It follows two writers who are completing a contest for the chance to tell the story of a woman who has a very larger than life story to tell. She apparently has a very eventful life that they get to write about in this competition or whatever they're doing. In some way, one way or another, they fall in love with each other. I just think that's a unique storyline and I'm interested to read about it. I just really like the way that Funny Story and the characters in that book were written and how well written they were and how much I was able to connect with the characters. And I'm really hoping that in this book, I can relate and connect to those characters as well. So I don't know. Ever since I've seen Great Big Beautiful Life, I've been interested in it. I know not a lot of people are, but I just naturally gravitated towards it, so we'll see. The next book I do own the physical copy of. It is An Ember in the Ashes by, now correct me if I'm wrong, Sabaa Tahir, I think. This is another one of the books that I picked up right around the time I picked up Legendborn, and I just never got a chance to read it. I heard that it is a slow burn. I started it, I read a few pages, but I will definitely have to restart because that was some time ago now. But it says, Leia is a slave, Elias is a soldier, nothing is free. Under the Marshall Empire, Empire defiance is met with death. Leia and her family do not challenge the Empire. They've seen what happens to those who do. But when Leia's brother is arrested for treason, she is forced to make a decision. In exchange for help from rebels who promise to rescue her brother, she will risk her life to spy for them from within the Empire's greatest military academy. There, Leia meets Elias, the school's finest soldier, and secretly its most unwilling. He and Leia will soon realize that their destinies are intertwined and that their choices will change the fate of the Empire itself. Sounds interesting enough. I picked it up truthfully because I thought the cover was very pretty when I saw it in the store, and I just picked it up. And I just like randomly sometimes picking up books, and then I just found out that this is a very popular book. So I hope it's very good. I don't know. That's pretty much all I have to say. I just really want to get it read because I purchased it, and I do not like buying books that I have not read or buying books and not reading them. I do not like owning unread books. I only want books on my shelves that have been read, and that if someone asks me about it, I can tell them a story. I can tell them how I felt while reading it. I can tell them what the book is about. I don't know, but I don't like having unread books on my bookshelf. So this is on my TBR. The next book on my TBR is Bound. I don't own the physical copy of this one either. Wow, it's $4.50 and the darkness just swept over me like so quickly. I can't believe this. Okay, Bound. I can believe it because it gets dark faster, but it just went from broad daylight at 4 o'clock to nearly pitch black at 4:30, so we're 4:50. Okay, Bound. It says, only the worthy survive the bounding trials. She'll risk her life and her heart to be one of them. Maren Cooper has never dreamed of being one of the bonded, the king's elite warriors who form metal links with massive, vicious direwolves. She's made peace with her life scrapping by in poverty and in the shadows of the castle. But then her younger sister, Selah, is kidnapped, stolen across the border by the immortal monsters her country has spent centuries fighting. And Maren's world falls apart. Desperate to cross the front and save her sister, Maren enlists in the army, only to discover that there are bonding trials this year, where all the soldiers are forced to risk their lives in an attempt to connect with the direwolf. It's too late to turn back. Maren is thrown into the deadly competition against her will. Now she'll need to survive the next 4 months of training at the castle if she wants a chance of finding Selah. Everything here is a test, from the brutal classes where one mistake means death, to the glittering court parties where every smile hides a knife. To make things worse, Maren is bound to a feral direwolf who refuses to communicate. The other trainees would love to spill her common blood, and her gorgeous instructor, Stark Tyrion, is as malicious as the wolves themselves. Everyone is out to get her, everyone but the dangerously handsome crown prince, Killian Voltier. But if she loses her heart to him, she may also lose her life, and the castle is hiding dark secrets. I was just gonna say, this pretty much just sounds like Fourth Wing, but with wolves. I did really like Fourth Wing. I don't know about Iron Flame and Onyx Storm. I know they're controversially liked, but I did like reading Fourth Wing. I had never read a dragon fantasy book, dragon telepathy bonded type book before, so if you know any more of those that are better, please comment them below because I am dying to read another book just like that one. But this sounds a lot like Fourth Wing, and in the description it says Fourth Wing meets the Hunger Games in the dark action-packed fantasy series, perfect for romantasy fans of A Court in Thorns and Roses, which I honestly did not like, The Serpent of the Wings at Night, which I have not read, When the Moon Hatch, which caught my attention but I haven't read, and Quicksilver, which I do not think I would like at all, so that scares me. But I'm gonna lean on Fourth Wing meets the Hunger Games because that's insane to me that they said the Hunger Games and then mentioned the rest of those books. I'm so sorry, but A Court in Thorns and Roses and the Hunger Games have literally nothing in common. I would never even spew those words in the same sentence if it hadn't been for that description. But I'm excited to read that book. I just want to read it because it has wolves in it. I'm really into like the Twilight era werewolf, vampire diaries type teen wolf type girl. That's just my thing. So the next book on my list is Bride and Mate by Ali Hazelwood. I have never read an Ali Hazelwood book before, but I've seen a lot of people talking about Mate, and it's just been extremely popular. So I'm curious what all the hype is about Ali Hazelwood in general, and then also this book. So Bride, I will be reading on my iPad because I have the digital copy, obviously, and then I will be reading Mate physically. I just ordered this online. I don't know, I'm gonna see if I like those books. Again, I'm really into the werewolf type vibe. I just really am, so hopefully I can go ahead and read that and really enjoy it just like everybody else. Books 6 and 7 on my list was Bride and Mate by Ali Hazelwood. Book number 8 on my list, Beartown by Fredrik Backman. I have heard nothing but raving reviews about this, although I've heard that it's very sad and it's going to take you for a journey and you're going to cry, you're going to sob. I've also just heard the best of things about Fredrik Backman and his writing in this book, in this series in general, and I really do want to read it in the depths of the winter, so this feels like a December read to me. I just have to. This is also another book that I bought and haven't read, obviously, so I would like to read it for that purpose as well, but also just because I've heard very good things about it. Book 9 on my list is Happy Place by Emily Henry. I don't own this book. I may read it on my iPad. I may go buy it in person. So the 9th book on my list is, honestly, it's an option between two books because I really truly couldn't decide between Wild Love by Elsie Silver and Happy Place by Emily Henry. I don't even know if these give the same vibes, but I'm really craving like a romance book. I have several romance books on this list, so obviously I'm craving some romance books. I just feel like the winter does that to me. I love a good cheesy romance in the winter, but Happy Place or Wild Love, I don't know which way I'm leaning, but I know one or the two. It's pretty much pitch black. I don't even know if you guys, like, the lighting is probably insane right now, so let me just hurry up. I could turn a lamp on, but I don't want to be backlit. Like, I just feel like this lighting is preferred over my lamp. Oh yeah, so let's just keep it like this but make it quick. I don't know, I kind of like the vibes, kind of spooky yuki. I don't know why I just said that. Happy Place or Wild Love. I'm just in the mood for a romance. I've never read a country boy cowboy romance, and I think that's what Wild Love is. Or is it a billionaire romance? I don't know. I was reading about Flawless by Elsie Silver, Wild Love, and then Happy Place by Emily Henry. Those are my options for place number 9. I don't know. Those are my options. I don't know what any of those are about, so yeah. And then number 10, again, I was a Teen Wolf, Vampire Diaries, Twilight girl, so Immortal Dark. I've just heard so many things about this, both good and bad. I've heard terrible reviews and raving reviews, but I have seen it compared to the Vampire Diaries, and the main character being, or the main male character being like the Klaus of it all, and honestly, I would like to read it. I want to read it. I want to read anything vampire related. I love a vampire romance. I love a vampire book. Okay, it's getting really dark, but it says basically in this book, it's a romantic, dark, academic fantasy, and it says the heir has to infiltrate a society and live with the vampire that she suspects killed her family and kidnapped her sister. It began long before my time, but something has always hunted our family. Orphaned heiress Keaton grew up far from the society she was born into, where human bloodlines gain power through vampire companionship. When her sister, June, disappears, Keaton is convinced a vampire stole her. The very vampire bound to their family, the cruel yet captivating Sejanus Sagade. To find June, Keaton must infiltrate the elite university where students study to ensure peaceful coexistence between humans and vampires and inherit their family legacies. Keaton must survive with Sejanus, even as he does everything he can to drive her away. It doesn't matter if Sejanus' wickedness speaks to Keaton's own violent nature and tempts her to surrender to a life of darkness. She must find her sister and kill Sejanus at all costs. When a murder mirroring June's disappearance shakes the university, Keaton sinks further into the ruthless underworld of vampires, risking her very soul. There she discovers a century-old threat, and June could be at the center of it. To save her sister, Keaton must bring the university, Uxley, I don't know how to pronounce it, to its knees, and either break free from the horrors of her own actions or embrace the dark entanglements of love and the blood it requires. I'm pretty eager to read it. It sounds extremely entertaining, but it's getting really dark, so I'm just gonna wrap it up there and say that was the 10th book on my 10 before the end that I desperately want to read. But for a bonus book that I added in here just in case I read all 10 of these books and I have a little bit motivation to finish reading my physical TBR, I hate to say it, A Court of Wings and Ruin. I have nothing against this book series. I know it's a very touchy topic. Some people love it, some people hate it. Mind you guys, it's only 5 o'clock. It's 5:06 right now. It's 5:06 right now. This is what it's looking like. I'm so sorry, but I like the vibes, you know? I guess I like the vibes. What was I saying? I have had this book for months now. These are one of the first books that I got into reading again. A Court of Thorns and Roses was not bad. I read it all. I liked it enough to pick up A Court in Mist and Fury. I did like A Court of Mist and Fury pretty decently. It was okay. A Court of Wings and Ruin, I'm having the absolute hardest time getting through. For whatever reason, I made it to page like 164 and I just put it down and haven't got back into it since, and it's been pretty much a year now since I've picked it up. I'm gonna see if I can finish it. I'm gonna see if I can finish this book before 2025, because it would be really embarrassing if it's taking me over a year to finish this series. Would it be? I don't know, but I would like to finish this book. Then I think there's only 2 more books out in this series and are not as thick as this one is, so then I could easily wrap up the series. A Quarter Wings of Ruin is my bonus book. Thank you for watching if you made it this far, and I apologize for it being literally pitch black in here. Oh yeah, but thank you guys so much for watching this video or bearing through the darkness. I don't know why it got this dark so fast. Alrighty, bye.